Welcome aboard the Timagor. It is an advanced, reality-bending spacecraft, though you might mistake its main lounge for a derelict college dorm room. Inside, we find Artix, Joey, and Michelle. They aren't exploring the stars or studying cosmic phenomena. They are playing a viciously high-stakes game of Uno, where the penalty for losing is taking hundreds of hits from an atomic hookah. This group possesses terrifying power. They can manipulate the fabric of space-time and synthesize any object in the universe on command. Yet they choose to sit in a room, chugging pints of glowing green alien ale, and passing in and out of consciousness for weeks at a time, which raises a rather dark question. In a universe where you are completely untethered from human limitations and can do literally anything, why would you try so desperately to do absolutely nothing? The relentless comedy on this ship acts as a thin mask for a fragile reality. Casual cruelty leaks out early on, like when Joey warmly recalls turning his Earth roommate into a fish while high, forgetting about him for 3 days, and getting the man fired from his job. Looking at this diagram, we can visualize Doxian telepathy. Joey is an alien capable of a direct broadcast of his thoughts and feelings into someone else's mind. Because he is entirely baked, he loses control of this ability, accidentally projecting a heavy, oppressive song about desperate isolation right into Michelle's head. This accidental broadcast opens a door to the grief Joey is hiding. He drops his slacker persona for a few seconds to admit that his sister, Xenia, recently died by suicide, leaving a permanent void in his life. Michelle immediately understands that pain. She tells Joey that she relates to the song's lyrics because she remembers actively wanting to die herself. They bond over their shared proximity to trauma. This endless loop of alien ale and atomic hookahs serves as a heavy, frantic anesthetic. It is the only thing holding their mounting grief and isolation at a distance. When chemical anesthetics start to wear off, Joey introduces Michelle to a dangerous new thrill, trading the hazy interior of the lounge for the violent exterior of the space-time continuum. They call it time skiing. It involves putting on a gem-studded belt, opening the ship's door, and tethering yourself outside into the raw mist of time. They fly at speeds of 10,000 years per second, chasing a pure, terrifying physical rush. For Michelle, stepping into the time mist causes immediate sensory overload. In fractions of a second, she watches alien life evolve and massive space wars ignite. It is beautiful, but entirely destabilizing. The overwhelming scope of eternity sparks a wildly absurd idea in Michelle's head. She decides the fix for her depression and low self-esteem is to travel back to 20th century Earth, break into a hospital, and dose her infant self with LSD. This marks a terrifying escalation in their desperation. Michelle is now attempting to actively overwrite her reality, using the timeline itself as a tool for revision. Following Michelle's impulsive plan, the duo materializes inside the busy waiting room of the maternity ward at St. Lucifer's Hospital in Smithtown. To prevent widespread panic, Joey deploys his abilities. He transforms the massive spaceship into a garbage dumpster to hide it, and then instantly freezes time for every single person in the room. This chart visualizes Joey's fractured, stoner logic explanation of temporal alteration. He warns Michelle that dropping acid into her past might create an alternate branch in time or entirely overwrite their current memories and physical existence. Michelle is entirely unfazed by the risk of total erasure. She welcomes the prospect, believing any newly written history or alternate version of herself has to be superior to the existence she currently endures. She steps through the frozen time barrier and approaches the crib in the corner. Joey synthesizes a bottle of one baby formula. Michelle drops the LSD-laced sugar cube inside, and she picks up the sleeping infant she believes is herself. But as she looks down into the child's face, thinking about the decades of pain awaiting it, the plan falls apart. An intense, paralyzing wave of pity washes over her, and she realizes she cannot go through with it. Despite her access to reality-bending technology and heavy narcotics, Michelle's intrinsic human empathy punches right through the anesthetic. She abandons the bottle and aborts the heist. Back on the ship, their come-down is harsh. They are immediately confronted by an enraged Artix, who caught them taking unauthorized joyrides through the space-time continuum. Artix checks the ship's logs and delivers a brutal revelation. They landed in the wrong time zone. The infant Michelle was holding was actually her mother. This revelation completely cracks Michelle's world open. That cute little baby grew up to be an abusive alcoholic who neglected her completely, eventually driving Michelle's father to take his own life. The bitter irony is clear. Michelle's trauma is a deeply rooted generational cycle, something far more stubborn than a simple temporal error she could edit away. After sleeping for 12 hours, Michelle wakes up and tries one final, desperate bid for comfort. She attempts to manufacture a romantic connection with Joey to fill the void. She dresses meticulously and has the ship synthesize a specific perfume called Hot Flash from its database of millions of fragrances. She tracks Joey down in the ship's gymnasium to seduce him. She leans in and kisses him, but Joey's response is immediate and unambiguous. He flatly tells her he does not like her in that way, apologizes, and walks out of the room. The slacker comedy collapses. The sci-fi facade drops. Michelle is left weeping alone on a bench. She is physically surrounded by infinite possibilities and alien wonders, but emotionally, she is entirely trapped. You can freeze time, drink glowing ale, and surf across the cosmos. But true resolution requires facing the painful reality of the present. Because no matter what vehicle you use to escape, you can never outrun yourself.